Welcome back to another episode of Brotherhood Blitz. I am your host, D. Lawop, accompanied by my co-host, 409K.
Hello, hello, hello. Crack-a-lackin'.
Yeah, don't ever say that again. Anyway, this is kind of a dual sort of episode. Kay was sick last week, and I had a funeral to go to, so we kind of got caught up. Didn't get to do an episode last week, but in this episode, we'll kind of quickly recap week two, and then obviously this past week, crazy week we had. Um, okay, tell me a little bit about week two and how you thought that panned out.
Looking back at week two, a couple of wild games, to say the least, especially with the upset Hawaii had over FAU the first game of week two, and then Virginia Tech almost losing.
Yeah, that was wild. I think I don't remember what rank they were at the time, but yeah, by 6 points, 37-31 in the Virginia Tech versus ECU. Thought ECU might have been uh, pulling that one off.
Especially towards the end of the game, where ECU was kind of slow but surely clawing back, but turnovers kind of bit them bit them in the butt a little bit. Mm, Virginia Tech was able to pull that one off.
Yeah, it's hard to win games when you turn over the ball. Um, And in that Georgia LSU game, man, I really thought that would have been a lot closer than it was. I believe we both had Georgia winning that game.
You give me a second, I'll be able to go tell you. Uh, I had don't pick 'em wise on the website. I had LSU, but I can't remember exactly who I picked podcast wise.
Yeah, but that hot take of yours ain't looking so hot.
Hey, I believe in the boys. I believe in the dogs. They're gonna figure it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My hot take. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, um, our game of the week that week, I'm gonna have to go with that Virginia Tech versus ECU game. It wasn't your typical close game all the way down to the wire, but it did seem like it was going to turn out into a great game there in the fourth quarter, and ECU almost pulling it off.
I don't know if I agree because the FAU Hawaii game was close to like the very end. Same with the North Carolina Arkansas game. I mean, really, if it can go a few different ways in terms of what game was most deserving of game of the week, but I'm gonna say it was the Florida Atlantic and Hawaii game.
Yeah, that one I want to say it was like a field goal in the last seconds. I think it's hard to remember.
Yeah, I mean that was
2 weeks ago.
like almost, yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Um, as far as hit stick play of the week, we did not get any entries in. Nobody sent us any clips, so there is no hit stick play of the week for week two. Um, but yeah, that's kind of a week two. Um, we go ahead and move on to week three this past week, and another wild week we had.
Yeah, a few upsets, some very large blowouts, and then a double overtime game that I don't want to talk about.
Hey, that double overtime game. I thought I was gonna. I was having heart palpitations.
I was sweating the entire game.
Yeah, it was a great game. Um, Arkansas is they're a good team for sure.
And regardless of what anyone says, Cade is a good coach, and that team will figure some stuff out. It could just be schedule, trying to figure out the playbook a little bit, but I think they're going to be ready come playoff time.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be definitely not one to overlook come playoffs. Um, yeah, Virginia Tech came back after that close game in week two, and kind of showed them showed everybody, why they're a number two seed against the Rutgers.
Yeah, 47-14. If you kind of thought that Virginia Tech had a good handle on going into that game and how they were going to perform, but I mean, winning by that much is pretty impressive.
Speaking of pretty impressive, putting up 47 points. How about that Miami versus Alabama game?
Yeah, I feel bad for Bama because they back-to-back seasons they've had 70 put up on them.
Yeah, look, Alabama is definitely better than what that scoreboard shows. I will say that.
It's also a coach that's figuring things out on his own, coming in with very little uh, football sim league knowledge. And he's slowly but surely trying to figure some things out, get that roster right. It's just gonna take some time, is all.
Yeah, for sure. You never jump into these things knowing, everything. It's gonna, you got to get the experience and start understanding how these things work. And he's definitely on the right track.
What about that FAU North Carolina game to start out week 3?
I actually had UNC, winning that one comfortably. But hey, all credit due Florida Atlantic. You definitely came out swinging and took down the number three seed.
Yeah, I would say it was a pretty close game for the most part, and then FAU kind of pulled away. I think in that third, fourth quarter.
Yeah, especially with that moderate wind. Kay, me and you know firsthand those moderate wind sims. They can be tough.
Moderate win can have some very choice words that I will keep it PG.
And then, yeah, number one team. I thought they were going down for sure. Man, Arkansas. I thought they had it.
Yeah, going into that game, I personally say I felt pretty confident in what we saw in Sims, but you can never feel too confident because that's when you lose.
Yep, you're exactly right. When you feel too confident, you don't sim as much. You think, oh, we got this in the bag, and then you turn in your settings all confident. Come game night, uh, soon as that ball is snapped, you start realizing real quick this is going to be close.
Thankfully, we were able to pull off the win, just a lot closer than I would have liked it to been. But you gotta get hats off to Caden, Arkansas, for giving us a run for our money and keeping it close.
Yeah, not only hats off to Arkansas and Cade over there, doing great things. Also, shout out to Cameron for calling these games and making them even that much more fun to watch.
Yeah, I gotta give props to Cam. He's been a big help in the broadcast department and trying to get some more people in there and have someone to cover all these games because I know at some point calling them alone can suck, but some people like doing that, so each to their own.
Yeah, and he never misses a beat. Game after game after game. 3 games in a night, back to back nights. Uh, he doesn't seem like it. He's on to the next one. Always calling it great games.
And then, well, I think the LSU Hawaii game wasn't what I expected, or are we just underestimating how good Hawaii actually is?
You know, I wouldn't say I was underestimating Hawaii, um, but I will say I didn't have them winning over LSU for sure. But hey,
I
all credit due
yeah, I didn't either, but I don't like I said, I don't know if some people were just underestimating how good Hawaii is, or did the talent LSU lose was that much that are losing these games that they really on paper probably shouldn't be losing.
yeah, but hey, Hawaii, you know, they're not one to be overlooked for sure, and they're making definitely making a statement here in the regular season, and looking to go deeper in playoffs this year than they did last year, losing in the first round, or sorry, losing in the second round, I believe,
Yeah, they were in the play-in. You could say play-in. They beat FAU, who not many people expected them to beat, and then they almost beat ranked one Miami at the time in the second round, which would have been quite the upset.
for sure, and they definitely are looking to go deeper this season.
Agreed.
All right, on to week 4, um, kind of our upcoming games, and first game of week 4 is on Tuesday. You got LSU versus Arkansas. That's going to be a pretty good game, I think, especially Arkansas coming off a very close defeat against the number 1 ranked Texas, and LSU coming off of an upset loss against Hawaii. What do you think about that game, and who pulls that one off?
That game I think is going to go down to the wire. Uh, Arkansas, they have a really dreaded passing attack that's annoying to deal with in the game plan for. And then LSU, they're able to run the ball, pass the ball, just haven't been quite able to put up the points that their offense should be putting up. I am gonna go with Arkansas winning that game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to go with Arkansas. And like you said, I also believe it's going to be a close game to the end, and Arkansas's offense, you know, that's definitely they definitely take shots at will sometimes, and but so can LSU. So it's going to be an interesting game, but I do think Arkansas pulls that one off.
And going on to the second game of Tuesday, you got number one. We don't know what the rankings are going to be, but Texas versus East Carolina. Kind of give me your thoughts.
Yeah, East Carolina, coming off of a win. Um, I don't know if it'd be a statement win, but they did win comfortably against Mizzou last week. Um, but I don't think it's enough. I got Texas, uh, you know, coming off of that close game in Arkansas. I think they're gonna definitely, wake them up and make sure they get back to where things need to be and win comfortably in games. And I think this is a good game to do that. And I have Texas over East Carolina.
Texas over East Carolina by a million. Next game.
Next game, we got North Carolina and Rutgers. Tell me a little bit about this game.
North Carolina came off a upset loss to FAU last week in a game where I thought North Carolina was gonna comfortably win. And then Rutgers coming off a pretty big blowout loss. I think the talent difference is quite a bit too much for Rutgers to overcome, so I'm gonna have North Carolina winning this one.
Yeah, I agree. North Carolina, they did just come off of an upset loss, and Rutgers coming off on, like you said, blowout. But yeah, it's just exactly what you said. That talent difference is too big of a gap, I think. And, you know, shout out to Rutgers though. They are getting new players, um, so it'll be interesting. But yeah, I have North Carolina over Rutgers.
And then we have the next game, second game on Wednesday. We have Michigan taking on Mizzou. Michigan so far starting off. They started off kind of slow. They got their first win against Louisville, and then Mizzou still looking for their first win in program history. Kind of give me your thoughts and how this game might potentially go.
Yeah, honestly, I think this game can go either way. Um, Mizzou, they're hungry, for sure, and Michigan, you can never count out Michigan. They're gonna fight till the end, but I, yeah, I'm just, I think I'm gonna have to go with Michigan here. Mizzou is just once again just like the Rutgers. I think the talent difference is a little bit too big to overcome. So I'm gonna have to go with Michigan.
I am also going to go with Michigan, but I would not be surprised if this game is a lot closer than people think it's going to be.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it can go either way. Um, I would not be surprised if Mizzou pulls this off.
I would not be either.
On to the last game on Wednesday. You got number, well, at the time, number 5 Miami, taking on Maryland. Miami coming off of a absolute blowout win against Alabama, putting up 73 points. And Maryland, I don't. What was their score last week? Maryland.
Their
They
score
beat
last
Georgia
week was
24 to
24-19,
19. Yeah. Um,
and they're undefeated currently.
yeah, yeah. That's coming to an end. Sorry, Maryland, but Miami is just they're good. Um, so Miami is gonna uh, take the win on that one.
Yeah, I'm also going to to agree. Miami is gonna to win that one. I will say Maryland, their QB is hard to stop through the air using his legs. I just don't think the defense can keep up with the pace that Miami can move at and how quickly they can score at will, especially since they just switched books and they put up 73 with it. So,
Yeah, that's which is wild, by the way. 73 points is absolutely wild.
and going on to the next game is Virginia Tech versus Georgia.
Yeah, you got Virginia Tech, um, one of the top teams in the league, and then you got Georgia, fighting for get these hard fought wins to get in the playoffs, and this is gonna be a good game, but not too good. I have Virginia Tech topping over Georgia.
Every ounce in me wants to pick Georgia to win this game,
Yeah, you and me both.
but I'm also going to go with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, they're too good.
I think they're they get too much speed at receiver. Their halfback can kind of do it all. He can run for a million. He can be used in the passing game, and then the defense kind of, especially the linebackers for VT, it's hard to really do anything with. I will say I think Georgia's going to keep it close at first, but Virginia Tech has always been a second half team that kind of just pulls away.
Yeah, I agree. Next game on Thursday, you got Hawaii versus Louisville, and the way Hawaii's looking, you just can't go against them right now, especially against Louisville. So I'm gonna have Hawaii topping over Louisville with even with this moderate wind and overcast weather. Um, 40-degree night. Hawaii's gonna come out on top still.
I'm also going to pick Hawaii. with the way they've been playing lately, I don't think there's many teams that can beat them. Uh, yeah, I would like to see Louisville keep it close, but it's right now with the way things have played out the last 3 weeks. I'm gonna pick Hawaii.
And then the last
And
game on Thursday, um, you got Florida Atlantic over Alabama. Alabama looking to come back after their blowout loss against Miami, and Florida Atlantic coming off of a win. And yeah, although Alabama is going to be hungry after that loss, I just don't think they can overcome an even hungrier Florida Atlantic.
and this is where I feel bad for Alabama because they've had a tough schedule to start the season. I mean, if you just even go look at it, week one they faced Louisville, they barely lost by three. What was that, field goal? And then they faced top ranked Texas, a very good Miami team, and then they face a very good FAU team, and then Maryland in week five. All, four straight games to where they're going to be heavy underdogs. It's hard to see where they can come out with a win these next these next 2 weeks even.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them, but um, it's good experience for Matty over there, and um, I hope he proves us wrong. I hope he comes out against Florida Atlantic, comes out strong, and uh, shows out that offense, and puts up enough points over Florida Atlantic. But as of now, I don't see it, and I got Florida Atlantic winning this one.
Kind of the same thing with the North Carolina Rutgers game. The talent difference between the two teams is quite massive.
Yeah.
So I have FAU winning as well.
All right, and then what do you have for your game of the week?
My game of the week. Hmm.
We
I'm
might
gonna
have the same
say
one here.
I think there really is only like one option, and that's LSU and Arkansas.
Yeah. Um, if if I had to choose differently, I would go Michigan, Missouri.
I Same here.
So, with that being
Just I don't
said,
I don't I don't think no defense is being played in that Michigan Missouri game.
yeah, with that being said, kind of our sleeper game of the week. If you like offensive battles and high scoring games, Michigan Mizzou is going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah, the game potentially both teams can score 40.
Oh, easily. And then what do you have for your week 4 hot take?
Ooh, week 4 hot take. Hmm. It's a tough one because a lot of these games kind of have very clear favorites in terms of probably who's going to be favored to win. I'm going to say Maryland keeps it close and only like they I'm going to say the spread for the Miami Maryland game is going to be 6.
Okay. My hot take. Mm, this week is tough. I'm gonna
With the
have
way
to.
you said with the way you said, I thought you were about to say some diabolical stuff.
My hot take. I'm known for that, but my hot take. I'm gonna have Arkansas by at least 7. Not changing my pick. I do think LSU is gonna pull it off, but my hot take is Arkansas by 7. at least.
Hmm. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is a very good week, and we got some good weeks coming up and some good matchups, and excited for the weeks to come. And it's been a great season so far. You got three undefeated teams right now, and all three of them. Well, I wouldn't say all three of them, but um, at any given game, they could lose that undefeated streak. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these next weeks unfold.
Yeah, uh all those teams are kind of eyeing to be that second team ever to have an undefeated regular season and then be hopefully have a chance to be the first ever fully undefeated season that ends with a natty, which tough to do and tough to kind of put those win streaks together when so much film is on you and teams are kind of able to dial in what you're trying to do on offense and figure out how to score on your defense. So tough to say how the season will go, but I do believe it's probably the most competitive season the league's had yet.
Oh, easily. Um, it's been great fun to watch how the season's been unfolding, and we're not even halfway there yet.
Only in week 4, most.
But yeah, this is a kind of a shorter episode, as like we said earlier. Week 3, we had some stuff come up. Colin was sick. I had some family emergency stuff, but and then kind of this week, kind of sort of same thing with both of us being busy, but we're looking to come back week 5 strong and back to our regular schedule.
Yep, and at the end of week 4, hoping to kind of have get back on the schedule that we kind of set out and kind of keep this thing going because it's fun to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And every Sunday at 5 is our our target day and time, and we will have this one out this Sunday, um, on the 16th.
Yep, tomorrow at yeah 5 CST, and also if you're watching, and for those we thank you. If you happen to get some good hit stick highlight clips, please send them our way. Without anyone sending them in, this something that we won't have featured in future episodes.
Yeah, just if you see one, clip it, DM me or Kay, and we'll have it considered for hit stick play of the week and shout you out for it. And yeah,
We appreciate everyone for tuning in, listening, and watching. And this is the Brotherhood Blitz.